Hey everybody on YouTube, this is Hella Bella. This video is called 10 Tips for Helping You Book Your First Airbnb. I am making this because there's so many people who want to use Airbnb but just aren't familiar with it or aren't comfortable with it. So hopefully this video can help you out and get you in the right mindset to book your first Airbnb. So the first tip that I have for you is that make sure that the host has plenty of reviews. So what that means here is that they have either stayed in a house with someone else or that they've rented, but more specifically that they've rented. Like for me, you can see my page here that I have 35 reviews and that I'm a Superhost. So if you go down and to look at my reviews, you can see all the different things that people have said about my house, that it was clean, that it was welcoming, whether it was easy to find, or that, whatever the case may be, good hosts, easy check-in. You just want to look for things like this to make sure that your host is up to par. And I would not book anything that does not have reviews, and that's just my advice. I mean, you can do it, but it's basically saying that this person has never had a successful hosting yet. It doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. It just means that you're going to be there first. So you can kind of expect some learning curve there. So number 2, I'll try to book 1 to 2 weeks in advance or earlier if I can, because a lot of times people's calendars fill up. If you go and look at this calendar, I just typed in Portland, Oregon, and this is a rustic tiny home, and it's 68 bucks a night. So if you go and look at their calendar though, it's a really cheap and really cool place. All of these blacked out ones represent a booking. So August, they're completely booked. September, they're starting to fill up. So you just want to book as far in advance as possible in order to get the best rooms for the best prices. Tip number 3 is to fill out your profile. We'll go back to this and you can see it where it says, hey, I'm Isabella, and it tells you a little bit about where I'm from, how long I've been on Airbnb, things that I like to do, and this is sort of playing to my town's strengths. So since I am a host, I try to put the kind of things that I do in my area. So basically by filling out your profile, you're letting your host know a little bit about yourself. You do want to have a profile picture. I do not accept anyone who doesn't have some kind of profile picture and that they have verified something. And in the earlier stages, I would make them verify with some kind of Facebook account or social media, just to kind of proof that they are in fact a real person. And I would say that you're not going to have this problem as a guest, but as a host, those are some tips. So number 4 is, so if a host is not doing instant book, then they're going to have to approve your booking. So on this one, you can see that the host is doing instant book. That little lightning bolt means that you can rent the room right now. Other hosts don't always do instant book. I don't do instant book personally because I want to be able to look at each guest and see what's going on my calendar and make sure that I'm going to be able to accommodate them. So if they're not doing instant book, what you have to do is send them a message and say, hey, I'm just rolling in the area. I need a place to crash. This is what I'm going to do. I would love to stay in your house. Blah, blah, blah. Thanks. And then they'll usually get back to you within a day of whether or not they're going to accept you. So number 5, don't expect it to be like a hotel. This is not a hotel experience. This is a person's house or apartment or condo or tiny home or trailer or cabin. It's not a hotel. Please don't expect that. And I mean, as far as cleanliness goes, they should be super clean. But at the same time, it can't be perfect. It's not going to be a standardized experience. So just kind of keep that in mind. Tip number 6 is to read the listing thoroughly. If you book an entire home, it's a lot different than if you just book a room in someone's house. So it's a personal preference, whatever you want. Like for this is for the whole entire home, because it says right here entire home, and it says you can accommodate 2 guests, 1 bedroom, 1 bed. And then if you go into read the listing, it tells you a little more details about the house. It's comfortably close by, but it's not so close that it will disturb you. Looks like they have a no pets policy. Do not bring your pet unless you have okayed it with the host. And then she has a really great listing telling you all the great spots you can go to. And then also be aware of check-in and check-out times, because you do want to respect that for your host, especially a host like this who has a booking every single day, because by the time you leave at 3 p.m. or at 11 a.m., she has to get the house ready for the next guest to check in at 3. So just kind of keep that in mind. And also another thing to talk about is in the pricing structure, people can add cleaning fees. So that is something that I don't really like and I don't really appreciate because hotels don't have cleaning fees. I personally don't have a cleaning fee for my Airbnb. I think that you should build it into your price. However, a lot of people have cleaning fees, so you might want to take a look at that before you're booking, because if you book for $68 a night and then there's a cleaning fee for $38, then you've just tacked on $30 more to your stay. And to me, that's just not even, that's just ridiculous. But anyways, some guests require a security deposit, or some hosts require a security deposit, so keep that in mind. I don't blame them for that. I personally don't have a security deposit because I don't think that there's any damage that could be done that a couple $100s is going to pay for. If it's bad enough, it's going to be one of those Airbnb claims. And then she goes on to list her rules, and she has a moderate cancellation policy. And then you can go on and you can read reviews. Like, there's a lot of goodies in the reviews because people will say specific things about the house that they did, like while they were in town, or whether or not, you know, it was a good stay for them. And all these reviews are super good. So moving on to tip number 7, all Airbnbs have toiletries, soap, shampoo, and towels, and most will have some kind of breakfast item. But you may want to pack a few granola bars because some of them don't. But number 7 is just kind of like a fun fact. I mean, you don't need to bring shampoo and conditioner unless you just have like special needs for your hair or whatever. I don't personally bring it when I travel with Airbnb. And breakfast, like, I don't even think I've ever stayed anywhere where the host didn't give me some kind of breakfast. It's just kind of a thing that is commonplace with Airbnb. Tip number 8 is to consider different host personalities. Some people are introverts, some people are extroverts, and some people are busy, and some people are at home all day. So just kind of think about that and realize that you are not the only thing on this person's mind. You're just a guest in their house or their space. So they probably have their own life that they do. They may have some kind of other job that they work on. They most likely will. And they may have things going on in their life, so just kind of keep that in mind, that they are not your personal servant while you're booking. They are there to help you, though, so if you have questions, they should be able to answer them about the area. I take that very seriously for my guests because part of booking on Airbnb is giving the guest the experience that, you know, a local would have. So where would I go to eat in my town on a Friday night? Where would I go out to the bar? Where would I go on a hiking trip? So those are just some of the things that guests may ask you. You know, you may be able to ask as a guest. Number 9, so a host gift is not necessary, but it is a really nice thing to bring. I've had people bring me a jar of local honey, a bottle of wine, some beer. Like, it's just really more about the gesture than the item. But even if you just have like a thank you card that you can bring with you and write out a little note to your host when you leave, I think that's a super nice thing to do, because they are usually, you know, they're putting in a lot of effort to host you. Most Airbnb hosts are. So just kind of keep that in mind and remember that it's a personal thing to them too. So number 10, the last tip I have for you is to leave an honest review, because it lets other travelers know what it's really going to be like. You can't stay in someone's house unless you know, are comfortable with it. And so other reviews kind of give you this social proof that the stay has gone well for most other people and that it's been fine. So I was kind of curious about some other stays. So I was looking around in Gulf Shores in Nashville, and I found this $60 a night condo in Gulf Shores, and I was like, wow, that is awesome. And you can just kind of pick through the listings, and I honestly make essentially a little wish list of places I want to go, and I put those in my Airbnb profile. So this one is $60 a night, and sadly, if you look at the calendar, they're booked almost all of August except for 3 days, and then in September they are booked for every day but 5 days, and then October the weather starts to cool off. Wow, they may have their calendar blocked out. I'm not sure about that. I don't know if they're booked for all of October or not. You can opt to block out. Yeah, it looks like they blocked it out. You can opt to block out certain dates if you're a host and you don't want to host certain times of the year. Here's another listing that I have personally stayed in before, this comfortable bedroom in East Nashville. These hosts are super nice. I met them. I was here in February, I believe. Let me X out some of this. And guys, my computer is so slow. Yellowstone has no Wi-Fi, or they have horrible Wi-Fi. I mean, it's a national park and everybody's trying to use it at one time, so. Yeah, this probably isn't even going to load. Let's see. What else can I tell you about? Just that whenever I book somewhere, I try to keep in communication with the host, like up until the week before, and message them and say, hey, we're heading your way, or we'll be here at this time. If you can just kind of let them know when you're going to be there, because every host has different check-in things. Like some hosts leave a key, some hosts have a keypad, so it just totally depends on the host's preference. I booked this room in February, and I think I stayed here 2 or 3 nights. Um, it's a really, really nice area in East Nashville, and the hosts were really nice too. But yeah, let's take a look at their calendar and see how booked they are. Yeah, August, they only have 2 days left. But you'll notice that the cheaper the Airbnb is, the more likely it is to be completely booked up. So a pricing strategy for some people is to price higher and book less days a month, and to do a little bit less work hosting. Yeah, because Roland and Shane have 155 reviews, and they actually rent 3 different rooms in their house, is what they told me. So it's a really good way to make extra money too, guys. I'm probably going to do a video about hosting on Airbnb pretty soon, but this video is just 10 tips to get you familiar with booking on Airbnb and how you can have a successful experience booking your first Airbnb. So if you want to use Airbnb for the first time, I'm going to leave a code in the comment section to get $40 off your first room. And as long as the room is $75 or more, that code will work. So you can potentially get a room for $35. So I encourage you guys to use it. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And if you have had a really good experience using Airbnb, I would love to hear about that. I would even love to see, where you stayed and stuff. So thanks for watching, guys.